Thank you, everyone. My name's Sam Ash, CEO of Bunker Hill Mining Company, and pretty excited to talk to you about the progress at Bunker Hill and run you through the presentation today. Just like all the other presenters, we'll be talking about forward-looking information, so just be aware of that. So the Bunker Hill Mining Company, we are a single asset company, but we certainly have the ambitions to be a multi-asset base metal producer with a precious component focused on delivering critical metals to the North American supply chain. And we're doing that with our primary asset, the Bunker Hill mine, located in the Silver Valley of northern Idaho. The Bunker Hill mine operated continuously for over 100 years, produced 165 million ounces of silver and over 5 million tons of base metals over a 100-year operating life, and supported a vertically integrated operation with a lead smelter and an electrolytic zinc plant. The mine was closed in the 1980s due to environmental performance reasons, but we are now at the point where we have a consent decree and we are free of all of the historical environmental liability and have been in the process the last 4 years of bringing this iconic mine back into production. You can see the claim package here, which is one of the 3 dominant claim packages in the Silver Valleys, the other ones being the claim package associated with the Sunshine Mine and the America's Gold and Silver Mine, and of course Hecla's Lucky Friday Mine on the far eastern extent of the Silver Valley. And of course the Silver Valley is the dominant silver producing district in the world, over 1.2 billion ounces produced to date and still going strong with 2 active operations, and soon to be the Bunker Hill mine coming back into production. On site you can see here the orange shading represents the historic mine footprint, which only represents about 1/3 of the entire claim package that we control. And really that claim package has a lot of pretty interesting exploration opportunity to it that was never really fully developed because the mine always had a 10-year reserves over that 100-year operating life in the existing mine footprint, which kind of shows you and demonstrates the scale of mineralization that was associated with the historic Bunker Hill mine. So where we find ourselves today is we're fully funded for a restart, and we are in construction. The picture on the right was taken about a week ago. When I get back from this conference to site, the mill will be totally enclosed, and we'll be in the process of putting the float cells into the mill building and continuing on with the construction. In addition, in the underground, we're doing a resource conversion and expansion drill program, and expecting a new resource and reserve statement towards the end of Q1 as we move into production. Just exploring the surface a little bit more, the access to the mine is through the Russell Portal, which is about 2.5 miles from the mill site, and accessed via a existing haul road, which will be the conduit for surface ore transport from the mine to the underground milling facility. The underground mill, 1,800 tons a day differential flotation plant producing a zinc concentrate and a lead silver concentrate, both of which are under offtake to go to the Trail smelter or the Teck smelter in Trail in British Columbia, about 140 miles away from site. And going from a 3D model to what it looks like on the ground, this was on September 2nd. And again, when I get back from site, it'll look completely different. So it's a pretty exciting time to be at site. Every day you go up and there is substantial advancement made on the construction. So a little bit more about the resource: 14 million tons in inventory, 7 million tons of inferred mineralization, 7 million tons just under of measured and indicated, resulting in a reserve of 3.5 million tons for about a 5-year mine life. But we expect that our conversion rate is going to be exceedingly high, 75% plus, because the bulk of this mineralization was in the historic reserve when the mine went into closure. Certainly there's a little bit more data that we need, a couple of data gaps that we need to fill in, but we expect to see robust resource conversion at 75% plus. And then beyond that, a lot of exploration opportunities. A couple of other distinctive facts: the Bunker Hill mine is on 100% private land, 100% patented mining claims, which is why we've been able to bring this asset through the regulatory process from resource definition to construction and into production in just under 5 years. Just to put that in context, there's only been 5 mines that have successfully navigated the permitting process in the United States in the last 25 years, and the average is 25 years now for a mine from discovery to production. And that really sets us apart, largely because of the regulatory environment that we work in the state of Idaho, coupled with the fact that we're on private land with patented mining claims and fall outside of federal regulatory oversight. Introducing you to the underground, you can see the mineralized envelope, and very dark in the background, you can see the historic workings. So there's roughly 42 million tons of ore extracted over a 100-year period at the Bunker Hill mine. And what you're seeing here is a ore body that was discovered late in the mine's life called the Quill-Newgard ore body. And there was some very initial development done into it right before the mine went into closure. We're picking up where they left off, changing the mining method a bit. We're going to be implementing a transverse long hole stoping. That's another distinctive characteristic of the Bunker Hill mineralization. Typically in the Silver Valley, you see fairly narrow vein type small scale mining. This is 50 to 75 feet thick, 500 to 700 feet along strike, and extends just over 1,200 feet vertically, and allows us to employ the transverse long hole mining method, which is quite a bit more productive, which is how we're going to get to our 1,800 ton a day throughput with really a relatively small and controllable footprint. You can see where our resource conversion drilling is right now, and what we're focusing on is the conversion of inferred mineralization into measured and indicated, and subsequently expanding the reserve. That work is expected to be complete, and we'll come out with a new resource and reserve statement in late Q1. But when you zoom in, the gaps that we're drilling between the existing reserve stope shapes indicate to us, and our expectation is that we will see a fairly substantial increase in that reserve, as well as conversion from inferred to measured and indicated. And just to put it in context, I'll zoom out a little bit and turn. You know, all of our first 5 years worth of mining is focused just in this area here, between the 6 level and the 10 level. The water level in the mine currently exists at the 11 level, about through here, and we're actively drawing that down at about 2.5 feet per month, which is well in advance of our expected downward development rate. So a little bit about our drilling program. One of the things that's pretty interesting is that because we're able to drill from underground, and because we're in very close proximity to the resource that we're looking to convert, the impact is on a per foot basis is pretty remarkable. You know, we're going to be looking at a substantial resource conversion with only 9,000 feet of drilling. So I have a single Hagby core rig operating right now, and it's pretty remarkable the impact that a small amount of drilling can have on this resource. And just some, you know, kind of fun facts. We're getting right around 97% recovery rate out of the core right now, and drilling at a cost all in, including mobilization and moves, of $62 a foot. All with a local drilling outfit, which is, it's always great to use the local guys because, you know, the Silver Valley, we're really blessed with a workforce that knows a lot about mining. Overall project economics, not the most spectacular NPV, but keep in mind, it goes right back to our strategy that we had right from day one. Get this mine and get it into production, generating free cash flow with a minimum amount of CapEx. But you can see the, you know, the financials in terms of return with a fairly robust IRR and well-positioned on the global cost curve, right around 77 cents a pound AISC on a zinc equivalent basis. And again, zinc is the dominant mineral from a revenue perspective, roughly 70% of the revenue coming from zinc at this time. This is where the Bunker Hill and the strategy that we've employed really starts to shine when you look at the capital intensity compared to some of the peer zinc projects out there. We were blessed with a remarkable amount of existing in-place infrastructure. Our processing plant was acquired from Teck Metals, and we actually moved the entire processing facility from the Ponderay mine down to the Bunker Hill mine, and that's the processing plant that we're putting together right now. And so we're on track to be a producing mine in the first half of next year, actually a little closer to the end of the first quarter. And that's just the first step for Bunker Hill. There's an enormous amount of value creation potential through development of the resource. We're already looking at expanding the operation to 2,500 tons a day, and we're already looking at developing exploration targets on the larger claim package that exists beyond the existing mine footprint. And we put together a pretty solid team. Some of the team members here, Tom Francis, he was actually the open pit manager at Bingham Canyon. Our processing manager, Mike Eisland, ran all of the processing facilities for Barrick in northern Nevada. And it's funny to say, his annual maintenance budget running those processing facilities exceeded our entire CapEx build for the entire project. So we're building a team that's very, very capable, not only to deliver the Bunker Hill mine, but to deliver that longer-term vision of the company, which is to be a multi-asset producer, very active in North America, very focused on the critical metal space. It says here I have about a minute and a half left for any questions, if anybody has any.
Sam, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your tailing strategy at the mine.
Yeah, absolutely. So the tailing strategy, over the life of mine, 70% of the tails will go back into the underground, roughly 50% back into the stopes as geotechnical paste fill. But we also have an enormous amount of open void space in the historic mine. To just one example, this is just one stope now that is up near the surface. It's 75 to 100 feet thick, 300 to 400 feet along strike, and over 800 feet vertically, completely open, completely stable. So we have a lot of voids that we can put paste into that will be filling up the historic mine voids. And really the interesting thing about that is that not only is it a safe and a responsible way to deposit tails, but over time it'll actually address the primary environmental concern of the historic Bunker Hill mine, which is acid mine drainage. As you begin to fill those voids, reduce the transmissivity of water, reduce the exposure to oxygen, the intensity of the water treatment that the mine is going to require over a full life of mine and on a go-forward basis will begin to reduce.
Thank you. I think there is another question.
One of your shareholders, the U.S. EPA?
I can guarantee you that the U.S. EPA does not own any shares in Bunker Hill, but they are a very important stakeholder. We actually have a call on a weekly basis with the EPA, and the main topic of conversation is about the water treatment facility. So our water and the acid mine drainage that comes out of the mine right now is treated in a water treatment facility that's owned by the EPA and is operated by the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality, and we pay for that service.
What percent does Teck own?
Teck, at the moment, owns just over 7%.
37?
7.
How about Eric?
Eric Sprott? To my knowledge, I don't believe that Eric Sprott owns any shares, but Sprott Royalty and Streaming is right around a 10% shareholder.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank Thank you.